Dear student, in our last class, we learned resolution of vector, how the vector resolved into its component that we learn. Along with that, we learn x component as well as y component. And again, we consider orthogonal unit vector also. In that case, we consider I cap, j cap and k cap in a 1 dimension, 2 dimension as well as 3 dimension. These things we learn in a last video. And today we're going to start the term related to motion in a plane, the terms related to motion in a plane. To understand the motion in a plane, there are few terms are required depending on a vector concept that we're going to discuss today, and we discuss all the term one by one. First important term is called position vector, to represent the position of a particle in case of 2 dimension or 3 dimension. Usually in case of 1 dimension, to represent the vector, particle is strictly along x-axis or y-axis or z-axis. The vector concept is not that much essential in 1 dimension. But in case of 3 dimension, vector concept as well as direction representation is very much important. That's why in 2 dimension and 3 dimension, we mainly think about vector concept. Here, position vector, a vector that extends from a reference point. That vector that extends from a reference point to the point at which particle is located. Just imagine it is a reference point. It is a particular point is called reference point. Vector that extends from a reference point to the point at which particle is located. Particle is located somewhere here in a xy plane. And this particular point we indicate the location of a particle or particle is located. This one is a reference point. A vector that extends from a reference point to the point at which particle is located is called position vector. Here OP represents the position vector, where P is the point where vector is located or particle is located, and O is the point, it is a starting point. From that point vector is extended, and here vector is located or particle is located. Depending on that, we can think about a position vector. Again I repeat, vector that extends from a reference point to the point at which particle is located is called position vector. Particle is located is called position vector. Here OP represents the position vector. Position vector is denoted by letter R, small letter R. Here that position vector OP or R makes an angle theta from the x-axis, is in a xy plane. Automatically this position vector resolved into how many component? 2 component. One is horizontal component and the one is vertical component. We call it as x component and y component. X component is OA, that we taken as x into I cap with the direction. Y component is y j cap, and again j cap is indicating the direction. Here x I cap and y j cap are the component of position vector R along x-axis as well as y-axis, that we call it as horizontal component and vertical component. The position vector is given by equation. Here I already said the particle is in xy plane. Automatically how many component? 2 component. One is along x-axis, one other along y-axis. Automatically position vector R is equal to x into I cap along x-axis, y into j cap along y-axis. The direction of this position vector R, is given by the angle theta. Theta provides the direction of position vector. The direction of position vector R given by the angle theta with the x-axis, where tan theta is indicate direction of position vector, where theta indicate direction of position vector. That theta is equal to tan inverse of y divided by x. That indicates the direction of position vector, that we call it as theta. Here tan theta from this right angle triangle, tan theta is nothing but y component divided by x component, is nothing but y by x. Here theta is equal to tan inverse of y by x. Theta itself is called direction of position vector. In a 3 dimension, position vector is denoted as R is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. I already told in last video there are three rectangular component we can think of. One is I cap, j cap and k cap. They are the unit vectors. Here I, j, k cap are mutually perpendicular to each other in a three dimension. All the three axes are involved, x, y as well as z. The position vector R is equal to xi cap plus yj cap plus zk cap. Dear student, this position vector especially required in case of 2 dimension and 3 dimension. Particles are undergo movement or motion in a 3 dimension and 2 dimension. The position vector concept is essential to understand the concept, but in a 1 dimension we can easily provide a direction for that. Either it may be a north, or it may be a south, or it may be east, or it may be a west. But in a 2 dimension, particle is in between. Automatically you have to think about vector concept by using position vector. The next concept, point number 2 or term 2 in a motion in a plane, displacement vector. Everyone you heard about displacement. Displacement is nothing but shortest distance between initial position and final position of a body is called as displacement. In case of vector concept, we call it as displacement vector. The displacement vector is a vector which gives the position of a point. Displacement vector is a vector which gives the position of a point with reference to a point other than origin, with reference to a point other than origin of the coordinate system. Remember this, the displacement vector is the vector which gives the position of a point with reference to a point other than origin of the coordinate system. Just imagine here, this one is a origin. There are 2 positions you have to think about. One is located at a point A and the one is located at a point B. Here 2 positions of a vector R1 and R2 located at a point A and B, and their reference point is O itself. They are located at a point A, located at a point B, their reference point is O itself. Here R1 and R2 are the 2 position vector. I already provided the definition of position vector here. And it's starting from a reference point located in between x and y axis, or it may be a 3 dimension. Here located at a point A, located at a point B. Here R1 and R2 are the position vector, reference point O itself. And again here position vector definition already kaltaagide, adana use madkondu we can think about displacement vector, vector which gives position of a point with reference to a point other than origin bittu you have to think about displacement vector. Automatically located at a point A, first position vector, second position vector located at a point B, and their position vector is taken as R1 and R2. Direction is given here, and again here AB is the shortest distance between those 2 points. Automatically delta R is arc like a displacement vector. And magnitude of displacement vector we can take it as modulus delta R is equal to square root of delta x square plus delta y square. Here dear student, again if I consider position vector R1, it resolved into how many components? 2 component. One is along x axis and the one is along y axis. Along x axis position is x1. Along y axis position or component is y1. Again remember this, another vector R2, it is located at a point B, and along x axis its component is x2. Along y axis its component is y2. Automatically in between x component x1 and x2 separation we call it as delta x. Here delta x is the displacement along which axis? X axis, by considering horizontal component. Here delta y is nothing but y2 minus y1 is the representation of displacement of a particle along which axis? Y axis or vertical. And again by using this magnitude of displacement vector we can take it like delta R is equal to delta x square plus delta y square with the square root. That we can write it like square root of, in place of delta x is nothing but x2 minus x1 is a change in position along x-axis, x2 minus x1 whole square. Similarly, delta y square we can take it like y2 minus y1 is the initial position along y-axis, is the final position along y-axis. That separation we call it as displacement or displacement vector along which axis? Y-axis. It becomes y2 minus y1 whole square. And by using this, direction of displacement vector delta r is given by, here direction of displacement vector delta r is given by tan theta. Tan theta is equal to delta y divided by delta x. You have to think about this right angle triangle. This right angle triangle. Automatically this component is delta y, this component is delta x. Automatically this particular angle we call it as direction of position vector. That direction of position vector we can take it like delta y component divided by delta x component. Tan theta is equal to delta y by delta x. That gives theta is equal to tan inverse of delta y by delta x is the direction of position vector or displacement vector delta r. Then in a 3 dimension we can take delta r position vector, or depending on a position vector in a 3 dimension, displacement vector is x2 minus x1 into I cap plus y2 minus y1 into j cap plus z2 minus z1 into k cap. Then move on to next important term, third term, velocity vector. You already heard about velocity. Velocity is nothing but displacement divided by time. It is the time rate of change of displacement. We call it as velocity. In case of velocity vector, we are going to discuss 2 important terms here. One is called average velocity and the one is called instantaneous velocity. Average velocity is nothing but ratio of displacement and corresponding time. It is a ratio of displacement and corresponding time interval. Is the ratio of displacement and corresponding time interval is called average velocity. Here we taken a graph. Depending on a position vector, we consider displacement vector. Depending on that particular location, it have a particular velocity. We call it as v1 and v2. And depending on that, we can think about there will be a change in velocity depending on a component. There are 2 components. One is horizontal component, we call it as delta Vx into I cap depending on this diagram itself. And another one is vertical component, delta Vy into j cap. And this delta V we call it as average velocity, makes an angle depending on the position or location or displacement vector, that makes an angle theta here. Therefore average velocity is nothing but delta r divided by delta t, where delta r is called displacement vector, delta t is the time interval. Here delta r depending on the 2 position vector, it is nothing but r1 and r2. Here r2 minus r1 is the position vector difference, it gives a displacement vector, divided by t2 minus t1 is a formula for average velocity. Average velocity can be expressed in a component form as average velocity is equal to delta x divided by delta t is the change in position along x-axis divided by time taken into I cap along x-axis. Change in position along y-axis divided by time taken, we taken as j cap is a vector along y-axis. That we taken as delta vx along x-axis, that we already taken in diagram. Delta vy along y-axis taken in diagram. Now this one is a representation of average velocity in the component form. Is a representation of average velocity in component form. The direction of average velocity, V average, is given by tan theta is equal to vertical component of velocity delta Vy divided by horizontal component of velocity delta Vx, and depending on this we will get theta is equal to tan inverse of delta Vy divided by delta Vx is indicate the direction of average velocity. Now this is the few important thing related to average velocity. The next concept is related to instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity is the velocity at an instant of time. Remember, is the velocity of a particle or body at an instant of time. It is called as instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity v is equal to limit of, you learn in a motion in a straight line topic, delta t approaching towards 0, delta r is nothing but, delta r is nothing but change in position, is also called displacement, divided by delta t, change in time. Here if I take the limit for average velocity, it provide dr divided by dt. You already heard about differentiation or derivative, dr divided by dt. Again, that is in terms of component, we can take v is equal to dx by dt into I cap along x axis plus dy by dt into j cap along y axis. The instantaneous velocity v is equal to vx into I cap plus vy into j cap. Remember, vx and vy are the component of instantaneous velocity along x axis and y axis. The magnitude of v is taken as mod v is equal to square root of vx square plus vy square, is nothing but component squares. The direction of v is given by, again, tan theta is equal to vertical component divided by horizontal component. Tan theta is equal to vy by vx. Depending on this, we indicate theta is equal to tan inverse of vy divided by vx. Dear student, next part is fourth one, acceleration vector. We learn displacement vector, we learn velocity vector, and the next one is acceleration vector. There are two important things we're going to discuss. One is average acceleration and the one is called instantaneous acceleration. You already learned the definition of average and instantaneous acceleration in a motion in a straight line topic itself. And again, first you know the meaning of acceleration. Acceleration is nothing but velocity divided by time, is nothing but time rate of change of velocity. We call it as acceleration. Why this acceleration vector required means, if it is a 2 dimension or 3 dimension, automatically vector is in a xy plane or in a 3 dimension in a space. Automatically that vector is resolved into component. Automatically you have to indicate the direction along x axis, y axis as well as z axis. Then we need the vector concept. Here the first important thing, average acceleration, change in velocity that we taken as delta v divided by the corresponding time interval, we call it as delta t. The change in velocity delta v divided by the corresponding time interval delta t itself provide average acceleration. Graph is like this. In a xy plane, particle is located, is resolved into two components. One is along x axis and the one is along y axis with a suitable angle, we call it as theta. Theta indicates direction of average acceleration. Here average acceleration is nothing but change in velocity divided by change in time. And again, in terms of component along x and y axis, we can take it like delta vx divided by delta t into I cap plus delta v divided by delta v t into j cap. That we can write it as average acceleration is equal to average acceleration along x axis, a component of average acceleration along x axis into I cap plus component of average acceleration along y axis into j cap. Now this is the formula for average acceleration in terms of their component along x axis and y axis. Next, if I want to find out the magnitude of that, again you will learn square root of average acceleration along x axis square plus average acceleration along y axis square, and direction of average acceleration, once again similar to previous step, theta is equal to tan inverse of y component divided by x component, is nothing but ay divided by ax. Then second one is instantaneous acceleration. It is the limiting value of average acceleration as the time interval approaches to 0. Again I repeat, it is the limiting value of average acceleration as the time interval approaches to 0, or is the acceleration of a particle at a particular instant of time, that we call it as acceleration or instantaneous acceleration, that we denote mathematically as a is equal to limit time approaches to 0, delta t tends to 0, delta v divided by delta t. Delta v divided by delta t itself is called average acceleration, and again that we can write it in terms of component as a is nothing but instantaneous acceleration is equal to component of instantaneous acceleration along x axis into I cap component of instantaneous acceleration along y-axis into j cap, and direction of instantaneous acceleration is given by theta is equal to tan inverse of y component divided by x component, that we taken as ay divided by ax. Dear student, in today's video we learn position vector, and I provide the definition of position vector. We learn displacement vector depending on a position vector. Again we learn velocity, along with that we learn acceleration vector. Dear student, why this vector concept required in case of displacement, velocity and acceleration? Meaning I already said, the reason is to represent direction in a 2 dimension or 3 dimension. Usually we think about a vector concept in a 1 dimension. It is very easy to analyze. That's why vector concept is not that much essential, but in a 2 dimension and 3 dimension, vector concept is essential to indicate the direction. The remaining thing we'll discuss in a next class. Thank you.